Ladies and gentlemen and friends, welcome to Earthdate Y2k19.04.24, and this is Do-Rag Wisdom. The Mueller report indicates instances of Traitor Trump's attempts at disruption of justice. If it wasn't for heroes, quote unquote, like Don McGahn, who disobeyed Traitor Trump's orders to obstruct, the hair monster would have already been charged. And folks, McGahn, like the rest of the right-wing Trumpists, were simply using the Cheeto like a generous, out-of-order slot machine, helping them to pack our courts with the worst right-wing religious extremist slime that you could imagine. Thanks to McGahn and his buddy Mitch McDumbbell, our Supreme Court is simply packed with partisan extremist justices who are poised to add a citizenship question to the 2020 census. So this court, thanks to McGahn and McDumbbell, is going to help Trump as much as they can. And down the road, will deny LGBTQ folks their rights. McGahn is far from a hero and far from an honest, ethical human being. His ilk simply wants to send our country back to Puritan handmaid tale times. It is clear to me that Mueller laid out all instances of possible obstruction, but with the understanding that it is against the law to charge a sitting president with crimes. Which, by the way, personally, folks, doesn't make any sense to me. If you're a human being and you commit a crime, I don't care what position you're in, you should be charged. Especially if you are in a position of such responsibility and power that this creep is. Therefore, he is clearly putting this issue, Mueller is clearly putting this issue where it belongs, in the hands of the House of Representatives, now thankfully controlled by the tragically inept Democrats. It will be up to them to raise impeachment issues, since Mueller opened that door by not vindicating the vomitous Trump creatine in his report. So what is Congress to do, ladies and gentlemen and friends? Impeach or not to impeach? The worst slime ball that we ever had for president? One, the House of Representatives is constitutionally in charge of oversight. If crimes have been suggested in the Mueller report, allegedly committed by the president, this House of Representatives are obligated to investigate. And remember, the last House of Representatives controlled by Trumpists did nothing. So these new people, the new Congress, the new Democratic-controlled House has a lot of catching up to do. And again, if they find proof for criminal behavior, this House is obligated to begin impeachment proceedings. Two, they must do this even if they realize that the Trumpist-controlled Senate will vote them down. We, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll say this again and again, are in a cold civil war. We have, ladies and gentlemen, about a year and a half left until the 2020 presidential elections. It will take the House Democrats at least 6 months to gather their evidence and make their final case before they send it to the Senate. This will happen around the end of September and the beginning of October, a year and 1 month before the 2020 election. So all this impeachment stuff and investigations is starting quite late. Be aware too that the mobster in our White House is going to use every method in the book to run out the clock, believing as he does that impeachment issues will take us right up to the 2020 election, where the birther bastard scumbag Trump believes that the country will vote for him again. because the Democrats overreached. And the fact that anyone would consider re-electing a cancerous clown, a Nazi creep that puts children into cages, makes me feel ashamed beyond belief. This then is what we're looking at for the remainder of the creep Trump's administration. I will never fool myself. Again, ladies and gentlemen and friends, we are in a cold civil war. And if we allow the goon Trump to get away with his criminal behavior, we have opened the floodgates of more future abuse by future presidents. We have to stop this creep Trump, this traitor scumbag in his tracks. No person in our country is above the law, friends. Racist Trump is working to overcome the law so that he can join his pals Putin and Kim and other authoritarian oligarchs, totalitarian, to tyrannize our country and the world in general. I suggest that the Democrats continue their investigations now without calling an impeachment hearings. I love these investigations because they are driving the Cheeto crazy. Remember what Trump and his GOP teabaggers did to Obama when he was president? If I had Trump in my face right now, I tell him that payback is a bitch, and that if you can dish it out, you can take it too. I personally believe, in light of the Mueller report, that Trump is guilty. Mueller shows this in his report. An innocent person would never behave as this cancerous Trump clown has. This would have been finished months ago. Go ahead, investigate. If I was innocent, investigate. Would have been finished months ago. If the Democrats are going to impeach, they must move on it soon. In fact, it is already late because we're basically past the midterms. Folks, elections have dire consequences. I hate to say that over and over and over again to people, but if you get that in your minds, if you tell your friends, everybody know about it, maybe people get out and vote. Maybe people have learned a lesson in light of what we've put, the cancerous creep we put into our Oval Office. And since we have allowed this hair monster into our lives, he has worked diligently to undermine all our liberties. His love of Nazis is well known, and his hatred of people of color is obvious. I'm 68 years old and a member of the Jewish tribe. I know what discrimination is. I know what hatred is. The creep does not want to be president. Trump wants to be our king. May he rot. We are too late in this creep's term, again, to run him out of office. He's going to be in office until 2020. Even as the Democrats in the House begin impeachment proceedings, Trump will still be able to function as president until that 2020. Given the chance, even as he is tried by the Congress, he will still be able to appoint extremist justices and appoint other denizens of his swamp. He will still be able to inflict damage on us as he has been doing since the beginning. Trying to decimate our public lands, poison our drinking water, make us look like morons in the face of the world. The best way we can get rid of this cancerous clown is through the ballot box. The people, us, negligently place the Trump creep in power. It must be the people, again, to rectify their tragic mistake and ban the creep from regaining the precious office of president. People placing him in and then 4 years later throwing him out has a better kind of symmetry. The House Democrats have a constitutional obligation to impeach with care a criminal president. But repeat, it would be much better if the people themselves impeach this creep at the ballot box, November 2020.